Welcome back, guys, to yet another episode in the WoW Token Challenge. We are back yet again, still locked away in Ashenvale. And as you can see on your screen right now, we're running through BFD. And this has happened quite a lot of times since the last episode, and it will continue to happen quite a lot. Because I explored some of the open world farms, and I also double checked all of the materials that we can get. And I can tell you guys right now that the consistent gold that we're actually getting from just materials in here, because of having enchanting and the fact that we can disenchant whatever we don't need from here, the open world farms are maybe only 1,000 to 2,000 gold better. So if we're talking about efficiency in this zone and how good something is, until we are at the point where we literally have duplicates of absolutely everything in here, it will probably not be worth our time to explore. Well, not explore, but really use any of the open world farmed potentials that we have here. Because again, the vast majority of the drops exist in the dungeon. But that is something that we will have to deal with. And I like this dungeon, and it's a really fun one, and there's a lot of transmog to get. So I don't think it's going to be much of an issue because we got a lot of popular stuff in here. But as always, we are doing a giveaway for this episode as per usual. All you have to do is number one, like the video, and then number two, type a comment down below about something you're excited for coming up soon. Mob Classic is coming. I mean, it's literally right around the corner from the time that this episode is going to release. And not only Mob Classic, but 11.2. And on top of that, right, with 11.2 being a thing, we've also gotten more player housing news. So we're moving into what is going to be a very busy and very exciting time for World of Warcraft. So I just love to talk about it, see what you guys are excited for. I know it's stuff that we've talked about multiple times, but we are closer to it now, so it'd be good to hear. But as for my plan, I will be running through this dungeon a whole bunch. I'll record a little bit of it so you guys can see the sped up runs. And as you can see, I actually changed up the run a little bit because I went down to Domina because a lot of you guys were saying that it's actually worth it stepping in there. And from what I've been able to tell, it does make the run take about like 7 or 8 minutes for me, depending on how good I am with timing the creation of the dungeon. Well, creation of the group here for pre-met groups, so I can actually port myself out again. But so far, I'm just gonna continue doing that a little bit, taking those mobs as well. It's a little bit annoying because with a hunter, obviously you can't swim very fast in the water, so that's like the very slow part of it. But so far it's been fine, so we're gonna continue doing it because we might get very lucky. And speaking of luck, we have been very lucky. But before I show you guys not only the sped up runs of this dungeon, just show you guys a little bit more farming, I want to go over to the secondary alt. And I'll let Future Saiyan explain more about that. Future Saiyan is here, and we have our secondary alt. Now, our secondary alt, the last time that you saw it, we made it to about 11,000 gold. In our mailbox, we have 6,564 gold, which again, pretty cool. As you can see, we have a bunch of schematics here. We have some recipes, we have some patterns, we have some plans, a bunch of these selling, which is really, really cool. And then we have some lower valued mog. We can't obviously disenchant some of these things, so unless they go down to a vendor value, I'll just continue to post on this character. But we did get one sale in particular that is a little bit of a standout, which is this one, Staff of the Shade, for 1,900 gold. I'm more than happy seeing that. You know, there's nothing crazy here. It's not much, much crazier than what we saw in the first episode, but it is still a, you know, a little bonus, and this is me posting probably twice. So again, pretty cool. We've made it up to 17,533. And as you can see, on the auction house, we are still posting everything for whatever price that people are comfortable with. Now, I did see some of you guys mention last episode that I am kind of my own competition to the actual challenge toon, and that is sort of correct. But the way that I post on this character is when, I log on for the day, I log into this character and I post first, right? And then I go into the actual challenge toon and I repost those auctions, which means the challenge toon always is ahead of this one, which again is a little bit of a problem for the secondary alt. But the entire loot table that's available in Ashenvale is not the same as what we had in the Barrens, so a lot of these items are totally different and they don't impact each other at all. So it's not that big of an issue. And also for the future, when we actually finish Ashenvale, all of the leftover mark that we have at the time of reaching a token, that is going over to this toon as well. So the auction house on this toon is just going to keep growing and growing and growing, and it's just going to be fun to see, honestly. And then as well, I also wanted to show you guys, the token is currently 372k on EU, and the last couple of days it's actually been ranging between this and like 390k. So right now the token is pretty expensive, but we're also moving towards, classic releasing, and also 11.2, which is obviously season 3, and a bunch of other stuff that's happening. So Ashenvale might prove a little harder to do than the other zones if this keeps going up. But again, we'll see. Let's get straight back to farming on the challenge toon, shall we? So we've made it to the point where I want to go over what we have for the slash played, but also what we have sold and currently exists in our mailbox. And I want to show you guys what we have been able to farm. Now, the first stat that I want to show is our dungeons. Still, unfortunately, the Akumai kills for the last boss in there is not counted, but thankfully I did pay attention to when we started. So when we started running BFD, we were about just around 490, like 2 runs. So we have done like 84, 85-ish runs of BFDs so far, which is quite a considerable amount. And you'll be able to see here on the slash played, we are also at 12 days, 17 hours, and 33 minutes, which, from the last episode is about 14 hours. Now, I did have some AFK time in between, so that's it happens as per usual. But also, we did spend some time trying to explore the Ashenvale as a whole to see if there was anything that we could actually use and try. I tried some of the skinning farms. I tried looking around for treasures, and I also killed the rares a couple additional times. But as I talked about earlier in the episode, it doesn't really seem like we have many options on that front. Now, I'm not gonna 100% ignore it, but for now, BFD is the place that we're gonna spend our time. Now, we have made it to 11,102 gold, which is, pretty nice. Like, I believe at the end of the last episode, we were at around like 7,000 something, a little over 7,000. So we've gotten close to 4,000 additional raw gold, which makes sense for about 80 runs of BFD in terms of how much raw gold we get per 10 runs. But additionally, on top of that, we have sales. And as you can see, we have one in particular. This one right here, Staff of the Blessed Seer. Now, this is a great sale, 23,751. This is pretty much around what the market value on this item has been for a while. Very awesome to see this sale. I can't even complain. And the good thing about this is we actually got a replacement piece for this, which I'll show you guys more about very, very soon. Now, other than that, you can see that mostly we did actually also sell this one, Manual Strong Anti-Venom. We have a couple of these, but selling it for 950 is, it's fine, so we'll take that. But the vast majority of the rest of this is just materials again. We do have some Prospector's Woolies here for 231. And then I don't think that there is much of anything else, not in particular. But you guys also have to remember that I am still not at the point where I have started lowering a lot of these prices to kind of get people to buy things a little bit quicker, because some of these prices are still absolutely ridiculous, as you can tell right here. Like, this is, like, some of these prices are out of this world. However, as you can see, there's actually another 2K in here, a little over 2,200 maybe, but we'll keep that for the next episode. As you can see, we have gotten a lot of really valuable blues, and one of them is Grimclaw. This is a very, very good item from here, and as I talked about in the first episode, another one that I wanted is the Onyx Claymore. This is an amazing piece as well. Now, these blues, I don't think that I'll be trying to lower the price too much, because I want to see if they can sell for the prices that they have their market values at first. And we're not in a rush to make gold, so they're still going to stay like relatively high until we progress further into the challenge. But as you can see, we actually have 4 of these Staff of the Friar, which is absolutely ridiculous. But you can see that we have the Evocator's Blade, Staff of the Blessed Seer. As I said, we got another one to replace the one that we sold. You can actually see we sold it for, 23,000, and the market value is actually 30k. And the region market value is 40k, so it's actually a bit on the lower side, which is, in my book, it's fine. I'll take 23k, no problem. But you can also see we have the Crested Scepter here. We also have the Onyx Claymore, as I said, Staff of the Friar, and then Grimclaw. And that is, so far, it for the blues. There are still so many blues in this dungeon that we can get that are awesome. Another one, again, this one here, the Tree Bark Jacket. I'd love to get this one. Also just because it looks cool. And I talked about that in the last episode too. So again, there's so much we can still fill the auction house with. But a lot of these greens is something that I could easily lower the price on to see if we can potentially get some flippers to buy them that move them off realm to another spot. So this is something that I will be working on. I want to say probably for the next couple of episodes, but the blues are still going to stay highly valued unless we start getting a lot of duplicates. Because you can see the Staff of the Friar, we have 4 of these. So selling some of them for a little bit lower wouldn't necessarily be that much of an issue. But you can see we have a lot of value here. And these, that are worth a couple of thousand gold here, a little more reasonable in the pricing. But you can see we have 360 auctions. So we've built up the auction house by quite a lot. But BFD has such a wide, a wide loot table. We're talking hundreds of different transmog pieces, and a lot of this stuff, as you can see, I have a lot of duplicates. And I try my best to not keep, I won't post more than 5 at a time, and also when we get to 5, I'll actually just start disenchanting it. The only thing I won't disenchant if it has, is if it has pretty good value, or the what do you call it, the region sell rate is pretty high, then I'll just start lowering the price to see if we can get like more sales or somebody to reset the market, because that's better than disenchanting it. And if it doesn't work out and the price just tanks even more, I mean, it's not a big deal. We can still disenchant it. So either way, it's kind of like a win-win for us. And it's a good thing it's a free market, because we can do whatever we want on it. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is. It's the name of the game. But that's pretty much like how far we've made it. And I want to say that, you know, I'm going to spend a bunch more time in BFD, and then we'll be spending some more time on, you know, seeing what we can do with these auctions. But that's mostly what we have right now for Ashenvale. And I did read a lot of your guys' comments on the first episode. And I saw, you know, a bunch of different ideas. Like there was a couple of, like 1 or 2 rares. There was also a really rare fishing transmog piece drop that you could apparently get as well. But we might be checking some of those out once we calm down a little bit on the dungeon runs. But for now, we're going to stick to BFD and do as many runs as humanly possible. But again, I hope you guys are enjoying, you know, watching this series as much as I am actually having fun with creating it. It's still awesome and really good fun. And as well, as you heard earlier in the episode, when it comes to the challenge, well, the secondary alt, if you guys have any ideas for what we could do for like goals that we reach, say we reach like 30k, 50k, 100k or whatever, make sure that you drop that down in the comments below, because, you know, unlocking like a toy or a vendoring mount or pieces of transmog or whatever, like it could be really fun. So if you guys have any fun, I don't know, interesting ideas that could make this series even greater, make sure that you drop that down below. But that is going to be everything that I had for this video. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And also on top of that, as always, I'll see you on the next one.